fans online, though. Honestly,
they haven't stopped. I think they're still going on.
Yeah. all saying it's only half time. It's only half time. They had Wembley again when they beat Borough before the semi-finals even started. So,
welcome back to another and our final one of this season. Welcome back to Where Black Cats Walk, and an indicative tweet from the whole footballing nation this weekend. Please, Sunderland, please, the whole country now is behind you. We cannot have Sheffield United back in the top flight. It is our Wembley preview with Dylan, Charlie, Leo, and Jamie as the Mackhams are off to Wembley. Congratulations, lads. Dylan, how many times have you watched that goal back, just out of interest?
I lost count after the first, probably 7 billion, but it's never going to get old. It's the way he folds himself in half, and then it just flies in that top corner. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I must say. Yeah,
who knew the neck had that many muscles in it? It's amazing. Charlie, where were you behind that? Were you that end of the stadium?
Yeah, I was. I'm like off to the right hand side. I had a kind of good view of it, but if they'd celebrated at the other corner flag, I would have been right in amongst it. But sadly, they went to the other side. But I'll let them off. Just.
Jamie, you've been at the stadium a lot longer than this lot have. Is that the best night you can remember there, or does the Chelsea result, the Everton result, beat it? It's all.
I think there's an atmosphere and the way it ended in front of the home end as well. They normally kick the other way in the second half, and like the way it was, we were kicking down towards our fans, and it was just a perfect till the end, like last second of the game. Just couldn't have been written any better, really, for it to end the way it ended. Fantastic, yeah, easily the best, I would say.
Yeah, Leo, the best you've seen?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, like you said, that Chelsea and Everton game when we were in the Prem, sent the Mags down. That was probably top of my list up until this past week. But just the build up of them getting the goal the way they did, that whole second half, you kind of knew it was going to come eventually, and then all the fans just it wasn't really like having a downer on the team. It was more just complete and utter nerves for the whole of extra time. And then once we got that corner, I said to my mate, I think we might get it, and then he said it's now or never, and then that's just come in, and it was unbelievable. And we didn't stop for another 45 minutes in the stadium after the game, and then after the game outside the stadium about 6 hours. So yeah.
Were any of you nervous at any point? I mean, Coventry had lots of possession, didn't really do too much with it. It was the Hadji Wright header, Dylan, wasn't it, at the end or near the end? Did you always believe you would get through that tie even when Coventry scored?
Well, if you want the totally honest answer, at the time of our goal coming about 2 minutes before, I was sat there thinking this is going to penalties and we're gonna get beat, because I mean we all know how our penalty record's been this season. But I think like that made it even better, because emotionally I was right down here, and then in the blink of an eye when that header's got in, it's just like if there was a roof on the place, it would have blown clean off. I've never had a feeling like it. So the actual game itself was probably the most harrowing thing I've had to watch in my life, because as Leo was saying, just the sheer nerves and the stress. But for that ending, it was worth it. I would have taken that over beating them 3-0 on the day, because that was just, I've never experienced a feeling like that in my life. Hopefully until Saturday coming.
Until Saturday, yeah. Welcome. If you're just joining us, we're going to preview the Sheffield United game in a second as well, but we're just reliving last week. I mean, Charlie, you deserve to go through that TIFO. I think that's genuinely the best one I've ever seen. What about the pre-game stuff? How were you? Did you manage to enjoy it, or were you just a bundle of nerves?
No, pretty much I was all right. The nerves kicked in after about 10 minutes when we'd barely touched the ball. Not that I was ever really that. I wasn't really that bothered by it all. I wasn't really ever that threatened by them, but I couldn't hack it. My leg was just going up and down the entire game, jittering. I couldn't cope, mate. It's comfortably the most nervy I've ever been, like at a game. I'm usually worse watching it at home, but at a game that was bad.
If you're watching this on live stream, do drop us a comment, and then we'll read some of your messages out. Jamie, does Labrie need a bit more credit than what he's getting for the way that he managed that game? There's lots of pundits saying Coventry bossed it, and it could have gone either way. But Did he get that absolutely spot on tactically?
Well, you have to say yes now, don't you? Because we've won the game. It isn't easy to watch at times. It is a difficult 90 minutes when he does like being out of possession a lot of the time and then going on the counter attack. And we've kind of got used to it as fans, I think, when we watch it a lot of the time, and we know how he plays. And I think for someone on the outside coming in and watching it, you think, oh, we're getting battered, we can't get the ball. But I think he likes that kind of low defensive shape, and then bang, we go. And when it works really well. And I think it's hats off to him. Really got a lot of stick in the last few weeks of the season, but he's one game away from kind of throwing it back in our faces, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've watched a number of playoffs, Leo, and I can't remember a player playing that well across two legs and having such an impact on it. If I caught Dan Ballard and Birmingham, I said, offer him another blanket, tuck him in, and ask if he wanted to cover. What a bloke. Yeah, Leo. Can you sum up just his performance in the first leg as well as that moment of triumph in the last one?
Well, I mean, I didn't put many tweets out over the week span of the two legs, just in case it came back to bite us. But after the first leg, I said I owe Dan Ballard my life, and then after the second one, I quoted that same tweet and said, "Run it back," because he was absolutely unbelievable over two legs. Like you've said, I can't think of anyone over 180 minutes or 210 minutes of football who just seemed like nothing was getting in his way. And obviously, the goal that they've scored, both of them really, I would say it's more down to Trey Hume and kind of letting his man go at that back post. The balls went over Ballard's head. Everything that was anywhere within a radius of him, he was winning every single one of them. There was even a couple of times in the second leg where he's won a tackle and went on a little run, took it past the player and played it out wide. I just thought, where has this come from? Because we know the talent he has, and we know the kind of brute force he can be at the back, but we've never seen it to this level where he looks absolutely just an absolute brick wall. Had you right, he's been disappointing over the two legs. I'm sure Coventry fans will say that. But is that because he's been disappointing, or is that because he's came against the performances that Ballard has been? Because I think anyone else would say he's probably a top 8, maybe even creeping into that top 5 strikers in the league any other time during the season. So it just goes to show how good that performance was, and as you say, standout man of the match both games, and he deserves it.
Okay, right. Let's look ahead then to this weekend. Then 3:00 kickoff live, of course, at Wembley. Just as a raise of hands, how many of you think you are going to win this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 3 in a delayed one. Yeah. I mean, what have you made of Sheffield United, Dylan, from the other playoff leg? I mean, difficult to say because Bristol was so poor, but just anything to fear here?
It would be. I'd be lying if I said they weren't a good team. It would just be sheer delusion to say that they don't have just as good, if not probably a slightly better overall squad than us in terms of like depth. Yeah, no, they're a good team, but as I said before, we play our best football against other good teams. And I know I said before the Coventry game that you don't take the past into consideration, but we did beat them in the second half of the season. So all I'm saying is we've shown that we can beat them, and I don't see why we can't do it on the day. I just think, while we've got to be wary, we shouldn't be going there and sitting back the same way we did in the 2 games against Coventry. I think it's one of them where it's going to be a bit end to end, but we've got to get at them. If you take an early goal, it's anybody's really.
Yeah, if we look back at the head-to-heads, then back in November, Charlie, back at Bramall Lane, you of course lost to that very late Tom Davis winner when you're both down to 10 men. Then on New Year's Day, of course, you returned the favour and beat them with this team here. Now, obviously, that's not going to feature there. But how do you go about setting up against them? Are it going to be different to how you set up against Coventry, given that they're going to have a lot more pace?
I think Mundo's got to come in for me. But the difference in this, because in extra time, I actually thought we played really well, whereas in the 90 minutes on the ball, we were really poor in the second leg. So Mundle's got to come in. He just makes him play with a higher tempo, and he's quick. He gets at his fullback. It's exactly what the Brie wants in his attacker. So I mean, you're probably looking at him on the left side, and then take your pick from the rest of them. I think you're pretty much unchanged. I'd take Isidore out for him maybe. Chris Rigg put in a good showing as well when he came on because Roberts was very poor, bless him. So he might come on the right side, but I can't see there being that many changes if I'm being brutally honest. Okay. Just Mundle, I think.
Jamie, what would you do? I've read lots of people saying Wilson should be on the bench.
But then Wilson caused them a lot of bother in the game at home. Him and Mayenda were kind of, they could have scored 4 in the first half between them. Difficult one, like Dylan says, they've got really good players in their team. Kusema, they've got a lot of attacking threat, so we can't really go too gung ho. I don't think. The one thing I have to try and kind of get across is they have to play Enzo in the middle. I think when he got in the middle of the pitch once against Coventry away, he created a goal, gets on the ball, and I think Job and Daniel didn't look great in the second leg against Coventry. Was it nerves? Was it fatigue? I don't know. But once Enzo went in there, we had more control. We kept the ball better, and we looked, for the only time I would say across the 2 legs, the better team in possession. And it can't be coincidence that Enzo was in there and put his foot on the ball. So I would probably play Mayenda with Enzo on the wing, right hand side. I don't know. Like Charlie says, Roberts has struggled, but you have to leave him in for his experience and then use Rigg later in the game to trick you on. But it's catch-22 really.
Leo?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've looked back at that New Year's Day game, and kind of the 2 goals are very similar in a way to the way we won the first leg. Isidore getting played in behind, getting our first goal, and then Mayenda pouncing on a mistake from their defender. I think it was Robinson in that New Year's Day game who had a dodgy touch. Mayenda's pounced on it and went through and scored. So in my opinion, I feel like they both have to play. I think Roberts should be out. I don't think he impressed me either time we played against Sheffield this season, and he definitely hasn't been too impressive over these 2 legs. Whether it's a situation where we're playing with 2 up front and Mundle comes out on the wing, or we can maybe put Mayenda on the right and Isidore up top alone, and then Mundle out on the left, because I'm not sure Mundle might be, out of position, maybe a bit uncomfortable out on that right side, which is where I would want him to be instead of Roberts if it was to replace anyone who played on Tuesday. But in terms of the back line, I know Meffam's had good games against Sheffield United, but you can't really do anything with that back line after their performance over these 2 games.
No, definitely not. Dylan, the build-up's going to focus so much on Sheffield United's poor record at Wembley. 4 finals, lost every single one of them. 8 playoff campaigns, haven't gone up to a single playoff campaign. Does that mean anything at all, given this is a different set of players and a different manager? Or can that weigh heavily on a team when you've got such a bad losing streak at a certain venue?
I'm gonna say it doesn't matter. I mean, only a couple of seasons ago, we were that team who had a shocking Wembley record who could never win there, and then we won 2 on the bounce. Obviously, one was against Tranmere in the Pizza Cup, and the other one Wigan. But as I say, before that, we weren't winning at Wembley. Before we played these 2 games against Coventry, we hadn't beaten them for God knows how long. We'd never done the double over Borough for ages till the season. So I think you can't pay too much attention to the previous records, because as I said before the Coventry games, any game of football is an isolated 90 minutes, and I think this match specifically is just going to be about whoever wants it more on the day, because it's 2 good teams who are no doubt going to go to war. But if I was there, I wouldn't be too focused on the past. I'd be focused on what they're going to do to set that straight this coming Saturday.
Okay. It can't escape your notice, all of you, that the whole footballing world, I think the whole Premier League, I think, is on your side, apart from obviously one, with one obvious exception.
I think even still on our side.
I was going to say, I think a fair few of them.
Some of them have said it's a win-win.
Yeah. Get Sunderland back in the Prem, man. We cannot have Sheffield United polluting the league for another season. I speak for everyone when I say we all want Sunderland back in the Premier League. It's been a long time, and you're getting your Jamie Hill Barclays fans are coming out saying it's going to feel like that era if we get Sunderland back in. Does it weigh on you at all that you are everyone's favourite going into this one? You're going to have.
I think there's some short memories because for a lot of years we polluted that league as well with some last seasons. But yeah, I think it'll be good to see us in there again. United have been up and down a few times without really giving it a go since they've for the past 68 seasons. So it's nice to see new teams in there. So let's go and do it. Let's make it our turn this time and see if we can make a fight of it.
Yeah, Charlie. Without jumping ahead too much, I mean, what do you say to these people that are commenting saying, "Yeah, bring Sunderland up because they're going to get absolutely smashed every single game with the age of the squad, how many players they're going to need to bring in." I mean, that shouldn't ruin obviously what's going to be the build up to an amazing week. But do you understand? Does that fill you with some trepidation that maybe this might be a year or 2 years too soon for you to go up?
Nah, I think because if they go up, if they go straight back down, they're going to be in a better position either way. And to be fair, the way we play it kind of suits it either way. Like I think we'll struggle. Of course, we're going to struggle. Like any team who comes up from the Championship now struggles. But the way we play, the players we've got, I don't think we'd be an embarrassment. Let's say, and like I say, even if we go down, we'll just end up. We're still in a better position with a lot more money, and we can go out and use that to then have another crack at it. Like I never understood why there was people in our fan base who kind of would say they didn't really want to because we just get beat. But like, it's kind of all part of it. Like, surely you want that test, if nothing else.
Yeah. Leo, the manager, couldn't be any more contrasting to Chris Wilder, who is, as we know, a wind-up merchant and is trying to kind of do everything he can to make head games. Sum up kind of his contributions this season, because I think after that QPR game, there were calls for him to even not get a chance to manage in the playoffs, crazily enough. Sum up what he's done for the club, and we have to remember it's still his first season, isn't it?
Yeah, still your first season in charge, came in after a long spell without a manager where the whole feeling around the club with whoever was going to come in was kind of going to be a disappointing name in terms of the ones that were being mentioned. In contrast, we had Will Still and stuff going around in the summer who everyone was raving about. And then when Reggie came in, people were thinking, have we just took a little step back and we've lost our ambition and just settled for this guy? That hasn't been the case. He's been absolutely brilliant for us. I think if you go back, if you look through YouTube, any sort of video of someone who predicts the league table, if someone's had Sunderland in fourth position, I applaud them, because I don't think anyone could have predicted this. And even outside of what he's done with the team as a collective, the way he's brought on some of our players, I thought has been unbelievable. Mundell was a ghost in our squad last season, featuring in the last 5 minutes of games that were already gone or already won. I know he got a goal against Southampton near the end of the season last season. I can't remember any other. But now he's one of our best attacking threats. Joe Bellingham, people still want to see he's overrated and he's living up to his brother's name. Go and watch a different sport, please. Because although the people who aren't watching the Championship are maybe thinking more of the name, if you actually sit and watch his game, you can see how good of a player he maybe isn't right now, but you can see in a couple of years' time he's going to be an unbelievable footballer. And in terms of like the other players in our squad, I thought 09 seemed as a very messy player before he came in. He's kind of solidified him, and although there's a few mistakes in there, he's turned Trey Hume into one of the best right backs in the league. He's turned Mayenda, who couldn't even get a game at Hibernian last season, he's turned him into one of the brightest prospects in our team. So he's done an unbelievable job.
Here, we are going to keep everything crossed for you this Saturday. Walk us through what your routine's going to be, Dylan. Friday night down in Trafalgar Square.
Yes, of course. I've got the smoke bombs en route, hoping they're around on time. get a copious amounts of cans, and we'll all just get absolutely pissed together. Sounds like a good idea to me. But I won't have a repeat of last time, because when we played Wickham, I took it way too far, and I nearly missed the match on the following day. So I'm going to try and have a bit more self-restraint. But I'm less that time I was like acting as if we're already promoted, but this is going to be much more difficult, so I'll be acting a bit more reserved down Trafalgar, I think.
Brill. Jamie, what's your plan for Saturday?
Well, I'm taking my little lad with me, so I'll still go to Trafalgar. Like, to be honest, he'll be coming with us, and then count down the hours nervously on Sunday morning before heading to Wembley Way and taking the atmosphere in the Green Man and enjoy it with a red and white.
Brilliant. And then Charlie, Leo, we're all getting drunk with Anthony Patterson in the bars of London, I'm guessing.
Well, I'm hoping that I get lucky enough to just wake up in Wembley on Saturday, and that I'm already there and in the stadium. Because then I don't see how I'll get there on Saturday after Trafalgar. But
wake up with some Leighton Orient
we can
Charlton
only
fans around you. Yeah. Okay. Charlie, what's your day look like?
I'm not really a drinker, so I've just got to make sure that my 5 mates get the match all right. I'm looking after them for the weekend.
That'll be good.
Yeah. It's going to be some task, is what I will say, but, I've done it before.
Well, you're definitely going to outnumber the Sheffield United fans at Wembley. We know that. Complete sellout. I mean, how quick did that sell out?
It's all 24 hours.
Yeah, within minutes. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, brilliant. Right, let's get score predictions then. How do you think it's going to go, Dylan?
Oh, right. I think we can beat them over 90 minutes. I'm going to say it's going to be a very, very nervy, horrible 2-1. However, I want to caveat that and say it will be the most poetic thing ever to go with it on penalties, because that would just be ticking off everything that was struggled with all season. So I won't be too upset if we win it on pens, but I'll say 2-1 after the 90.
Okay, Charlie.
I was also going to say 2-1, and it's going to be a particularly nervy last 20 minutes is my prediction. So I might not make it out of the ground, even if we win.
Yeah, you're not going to do it the easy way, are you? Let's be honest. Never do. Leo?
I think, as we spoke about before, I think there's actually a lot more riding on this game for Sheffield than there is for us in terms of what their club looks like in the future compared to ours if they don't go up. So I feel like they're going to start nervous. I feel like we'll get a 2-0 lead, and then we'll probably concede in the second half and then have the worst 20-25 minutes of my life for the rest of that second half. But I think we'll win 2-1.
Okay. Nearly a full house, this Jamie. Go on, let's be more, push the boat out.
I want to say like 3-0 or something. No.
Yeah.
No, I was going to go 1-0 goal in the last kind of 20-25 minutes, and then just defend like our lives depend on it, and hang on. And then all hell breaks loose.
Right. We want lots of videos for next season's podcast collecting, please. So keep them on your phones and enjoy it. We'll be down there as well, but you won't want to run into you. Do enjoy it, and hope you watch and enjoy it as well. We will catch you, maybe for the first Premier League chat of Where Blacks Walk in the last week, of course, of July. Join us for that. Whatever happens, enjoy it. Thank you so much for all of your contributions this year. Thank you for all your comments, or your likes, or your love on this one. Enjoy it, and we'll see you on the other side of it. Fingers crossed, Sunderland back in the Prem. Have a good one. Let's see.
That sounds good, doesn't it? First Premier League chat. I can get used to that.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. I've not pressed the on button. There we go. Oh, well, still live. Oh my God, it's not finishing up. Right. It's not finishing off. Right, I shall let you lot go. Thank you so much, all of you. Okay, appreciate it.
Right. Cheers, lads.
Leo, if you've got 5 minutes, it's gone. Cheers, guys.